Thank you. Start with Adonis. How fortunate were you to be able to get him some reps? And you talked about it a number of times this year to get him in there. It wasn't like he was just thrown in Saturday when he had to go in.
Yeah, I thought it was big. I mean, that's what we talked with Adonis all the way through spring and going through fall camp. Like, telling him that, I know that you can play a lot of positions on the line, but I want to make sure that you're getting a lot of reps at tackle, because if something happens, you're going to be that tackle that goes in. And he's accepted that role and did a good job with it. And, with the DNs that he went against last week at Miami, those are some really good players that he played against, and I thought he did really well.
I was going to say, Coach Seth said he gave up one sack, but did you feel, other than that one play, he was pretty good?
Yes, I did. And I thought he went in. He competed well. Boone is going to be a very good player. He went out there, and that was an environment where it was loud. That stadium held a lot of the noise. So to go in there and tackle for your first snaps at a tackle position, I thought he did a really good job with it.
How disappointing was Saturday for you guys, and especially the penalties? You put up the yards, but the penalties and some things that maybe you missed on.
Yeah, it's very difficult. It's tough. You don't want to have the penalties, none of the pre-snap stuff, none of the penalties, period. And we got to do a better job of eliminating those things, because we can control all those. And so we had a really good meeting on Sunday. When all the guys came in, they were in tune with everything that we're telling them and making our corrections. And they came out here today, and I told them this is a great opportunity. The best thing about this right here is when we get on the practice field this week, I told them on Sunday, we get to work on the mistakes that we made on Saturday. And I was like, and then on Wednesday, we get to clean it up again until our next game on Saturday. We get to go out and show that we've made those improvements now. And the guys, they listened, they were into it. They did a good job out here at practice today.
Coach, last week you called Adonis. If you had to give a most improved player on the offensive line, you said Adonis would probably be it. What has he improved at the most, you think?
He was a true freshman last year, and just learning the college game, the speed of it, playing how I think an offensive lineman needs to, this pad level with his hands. And the thing about it is, not only is he being thrown in at one bit, but multiple positions on the offensive line. And so to be able to go in and handle that and play the way he's played, that's the reason for it.
To be able to throw him in there mid-game like that, he hadn't played tackle before, mostly played guard. Does that speak to kind of how much he understands the game?
Yeah, I certainly do. To be able to know in multiple positions, to go in and be able to do our assignments and things with it, I think that says a lot about, his preparation week in and week out, and did a good job with it.
You obviously are very familiar with your opponent this week. What do you expect from those guys? And for you, having been there, it's kind of got to be kind of nice to be familiar.
Yeah, well, it's an extremely well-coached team. Know all those players, and they're going to play hard. Coach Doran always does a great job of getting those guys ready to play, and all those coaches. And it's the next one. And like I told the guys this past weekend, when you play a game as a coach, it's so like the best day for me is like that Sunday after that Saturday, so you can make those corrections and really work on these next two practices that we have to go into our next opponent that Saturday, and let's make sure that we've done that now in those game reps. But NC State, being there, being with those guys, a lot of relationships with those guys on the staff, with those players. But it's going to be something that's a well-coached football team. They're going to play hard. They're going to fight and be very well-coached. They're going to be where they're supposed to be.
And defensively, kind of, what do you expect? They're always so solid on defense.
Yes, very solid, aggressive. Coach Hucks, he's somebody I respect a lot in this profession. I've learned a lot from him during my time when I was with him there at NC State, and they're going to play hard. They're going to play fast. They're going to get to the football. They're going to be very well coached up front with their hands and all the fundamentals. And so it's going to be a fun game.
Will it be a little strange for you to be on the opposite sideline?
I'm sure it will be when you get out there. But the thing about it is getting these guys ready to go and play, and then getting them to the field and watching them perform. That's the thing, because that's what you're getting caught up with. Like a lot of times when you're coaching or on the sidelines, you're not going to get caught up in the crowd because you're so focused on the kids. And that's what it's about. It's about these kids and going out and watching those guys go and perform and getting them ready to perform.
With Adonis, if Mekhi's out, Adonis is starting left tackle, how does that affect rotation? I imagine it cuts it down for man. He's off the rotation.
It'll cut it down some. The other person that we've worked a lot at multiple positions also has been Cole Bentley. Always in the back of your mind, you always got to think of like some type of plan, like, what if this happens, and just plan for it. And so, like, last couple of weeks, we've been practicing Cole at multiple positions, at both tackles, both guards, at center, and just getting that next guy ready for if something like this happens. And so he's done a good job with it at practice, and if it has to come to that, we'll be ready for it.
I know you talked about getting Jackson some time. Obviously, you just want to get the freshman going, but do you have any other guys who might be in that rotation along with Cole, do you think?
Not right now. Not right now, just those guys right there.
How much? Obviously, you don't want to lose Mekhi, but Adonis had touched on how much of almost a player's coach he is for those guys. How much of his leadership do you feel like will even rub off even if he's not playing?
Oh, Mekhi he's an asset. I mean, he's everything that you want in a player. He's very driven, and then when he's not on the field taking reps, he's there for the players and for the guys that are taking the reps. He's helping those guys out every snap. During the game in Miami, he was talking to Adonis almost talking about every play that he was out there. And Mekhi, he does a fantastic job. Everything that he does outside of here to on the field and off the field.
Adonis, Coach Sat said yesterday they were fortunate enough to get you some reps early in the year, so you didn't have to just get thrown in there the other day. How key was that for you?
I mean, being with Coach Ledford, like, he prepares us well, and I don't know Mekhi's status, but I'll be ready for Saturday.
But did you feel prepared
Yes,
when you went in there the other night, even though you hadn't played the tackle in the game,
sir.
right?
I practiced through tackle all season, so I was ready.
Coach Ledford switches you guys around in the line between, like you said, guard and tackle in practice. How much do you feel like that prepares you for when you do have to get thrown in?
It just made it less hard on my part. Like, he prepared us, and it was easy.
Coach Sat said yesterday, besides one play, you graded out fairly well. How did you think you performed?
Always room to get better. I'm going to be a lot better this Saturday.
But what is, obviously, you are into the rotation now, but just what has this season been like for you as you kind of worked yourself in and now you kind of solidified there?
It's been a learning experience, like, to be in a rotation and be playing compared to last year. Like, I'm excited to be a part of this program.
How much do you feel like you've grown under Coach Ledford and that staff?
I became a much better player, like, from high school to now. Like, I feel myself maturing and becoming a better offensive lineman.
What do you feel like you've improved it the most?
Pass sets.
Coach Satterfield said you guys need to learn from the Miami experience. As an offensive lineman group, what kind of lessons can you take from that game?
To never let nothing like that happen again. To overcome any tragedy like that, like, to never go out like that again.
Is it easy to put something like that behind and start focusing on, NC State?
24-hour rule. Just correct the mistakes and learn from it.
How much have you talked to Mekhi about what you might need to know at tackle, or how much has he helped you in growing this role?
I talked to Mekhi a lot, especially in the Miami game. He was coaching me up on what to do, so he was very helpful.
How do you feel like you guys have bounced back from Saturday?
I feel we will bounce back very well. Like, we're not worried about last Saturday. Moving on to bigger and better.
Have you had much of a chance to look at NC State's defensive front? And so what do you think of them?
They're pretty good. It's going to be a challenge Saturday, but nothing we can't overcome.
Mekhi seems to be obviously a good talent, but a leader for you guys. What is almost kind of one of you guys' biggest cheerleaders as well. Just what does that mean for you guys mentally? That even if he doesn't play, he's still there for you guys.
Just to have somebody like that just on the sideline with us, like, it's a good feeling to have him there coaching us up as well. Like, he's like a second coach as well.
Good.
Thank you, sir.